How is everyone's Sunday? I hope you've had a very fruitful weekend and restful as well. This is Woman 360, and today we're talking about something that, well, is becoming quite common every day. Have you heard the common phrase, or most people saying, women, or is it ladies, are now drinking like their fathers and like cooking like their mothers? That's our area of concentration today on Woman 360. We're going to see how alcohol and women are coming together. Is it in a good way or a bad way? I have Winnie Lungu, who is a naturalist. She's going to tell us the effects of this on a woman in terms of what it can do to you. We'll also be talking to somebody who has an organization that talks about alcohol addiction. How can you beat this? What can you do? And what age group are women, young ladies, even young men going to just see how they can get help on that? So this is Women 360 for today. All right, thank you for still watching. Now we are in Kafui in a place called Mungu. Very beautiful place. When I was coming through this, I could see hills, I could hear birds chirping, and it's quite refreshing. And I think the Pure Nard Tin Challenge has picked the perfect location to try and help people get back to the place that they were supposed to be. Now, I'm going to be talking to Mr. Wafuka Kapolesa, who is really just in charge of this place. We're going to be talking about alcohol abuse and how he's helping people here, how people are getting the best that they can to be the people that they are supposed to be. Well, let me not say a lot. Let's just meet the man that we're here for, meet the men that we are here for, as well as they get to share with us how we can move forward as a country in terms of alcohol abuse. Mr. Kapolesa, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you? And thank you so much for coming to.
No, thank you so much for having us. We just start with a general picture of view of alcohol intake in Zambia. Can you say about that?
Well, I personally think it's a big problem. There doesn't seem to be well followed structures to control the intake of alcohol, let alone selling. The places you go to, you wonder if people even have permits to sell alcohol. I can give a good example of Matero, where I took time to walk around their market, and it looks like every other shop that was supposed to be a grocery store is turned into a drinking place, and you'd even wonder sometimes, like, who drinks if everybody's selling? But I mean, those businesses go on, meaning they sell and people drink. What is even scary is that no one bothers so much nowadays about underage people drinking. So my general view is it's a problem, it's out of control, and something has to be done about it.
So could we say Zambia does have a problem of alcoholism?
Definitely Zambia has a problem.
Okay.
This is what we do every day. I talk to families, I talk to parents, to fathers, to moms, who talk about how their children's lives have been messed up. I mean, we have a lot of people dropping out from universities and colleges, and if you come to look at it, it's just the excessive intake of alcohol.
Okay. Let's narrow it down a little bit to women. What's your view on alcohol and women in Zambia?
Well, that's another area that we have been looking at seriously, and it is a problem. I mean, is it just last year when we had the UNODC report that said that Zambian women are amongst the heaviest drinkers of alcohol in the world? So if UNODC can have those kind of statistics, it means it's a problem. They don't just come up with those figures. They did a research, they did a study, they did comparisons, and they picked on Zambia as one of the worst countries in the world.
What causes alcoholism? Just substance abuse?
I think various reasons, but if we may generalize, the first step is always just experimenting, maybe for fun, to have a high or to be drunk, so that people feel good, but eventually it begins to get out of control.
Okay. Let's come now to Pure Nut Tin Challenge. I can call you the founder here in Zambia, isn't it?
Yes, you'd be right to say that.
What made you want to set up this in Zambia? Well, tell us about first the Pure Nut Tin Challenge. Tell us about that.
Okay, Pure Nut Teen Challenge. Teen Challenge is a worldwide organization that works with people with various life controlling problems, drug addiction, alcoholism, and other problems that just people find it difficult to break free of. Teen Challenge runs residential rehabilitation centers, but also day center outreaches to try to help people break free from substance abuse, alcohol abuse, and other life controlling problems.
So coming back to Zambia, when did you set it up and how does it operate?
We opened the doors of Teen Challenge in February 2012 from a rented facility within Kafiwe and started the process of building this facility that we are at now. And we've been here since November 2012. How does the program operate? Teen Challenge is a residential rehabilitation program. Our focus is mainly behavior change. So for that reason, you find that our program runs for a long time. When somebody comes onto our program, they have to complete a 12 months, five-phased program. So it takes 1 year to complete this program.
Okay. Mr. Kapolesa, I know as Africans, as Zambians, we have this mentality when it comes to, rehabilitation centers, when someone is telling you you have to go for counseling, or even just, psychiatrists have an issue with Judy going to sit and say, have a chat with me, I have this issue. How easy was it for you to break through 4 years ago?
Well, I think given my background, I knew it was something that would work, and we saw the problem that it was there in Zambia. All that was lacking was the facility. But you're right. When we began setting up the first center and that rented facility I spoke about, I would bring in an electrician to work on the electricals, some carpenters to do the bunk beds and all the furniture that we wanted, and they would ask why we were coming up with that setup with bunk beds and all that. So I tell them we're going to run a residential rehabilitation center to help people struggling with issues like alcoholism and drug addiction. They laughed at us. And they literally laughed at us. They said, do you think people will come? I said, yes, if the problem is there, people will come. And well, it's 3 years now. People are coming. There are 16 students. We call them students, not clients, not patients. They're students to come to learn a better way of living. There are currently 16 students on our program, and we just keep increasing the capacity as we create room.
Okay. What made you really just want to come and set this up in Zambia? Is it part of your personality? Is it an experience you went through? Because it's not every day someone will say, I'm going to open a rehab center. And especially for you, I know when we were chatting in the background, you said the first year you were not charging. So it was almost, the start was almost like pro bono. What convinced you to start this?
Yes, first and foremost, like I told you, I'm a Christian and I'm a pastor. So before anything else, ministry, this is how I reach out. But my background also, I lived in Swaziland for 12 years, and 10 of those years in Swaziland I worked with Teen Challenge. I saw how the program works there. I saw the problem with drug addiction in that country. But every time I visited home, I saw that it was probably 10 times worse what I saw in Swaziland. But to be truthful, also when we came back home, we were actually scared to run a residential rehabilitation program because I knew what it takes to run a program like this. It's expensive. It's full-time boarding. There's nothing like breaks. They eat, they bath, they learn. We've got to have staff. We have 7 staff at the rehab side here, 14 staff altogether, and the entire ministry. So when we thought of that, we kind of a little bit scared to start the program. But again, the need of a program like this in Zambia was just way too much. So we're like, by faith, we'll take the steps. We started the program. But also, like you mentioned, this is something to do with me. Yes, that's Wafuka. Wafuka likes being around people struggling and seeing how you can encourage them, how you can help them pick up and the like. So it's just a combination of all those things that led us to where we are today.
Okay. There might be somebody out there watching and they're saying, all right, yes, I do need help, but
for most of us Zambians, the only picture we have of rehab center is where they will take you there, that making you do stuff you don't like. It's almost like, it's everything that you are against as a person. Just kindly tell us the procedure, what goes on. If Judy comes here and she has an issue with alcohol, what's the first step? What will happen? Briefly, I know it's a long process, but just a summary.
Well, just one of the statements you said. Judy, some of the things that we don't want or we are against as a person or people are actually the things we need. Okay, one of those things is structure. Like, we are a very structured environment. When somebody comes here, we tell them we are a very structured environment. This is how it works here. We wake up at this time and we wake up to do this and do that. We do chores, clean our rooms. Wake up, we have breakfast. After that, we have class, and after class is afternoon chores and other activities that go on around here. Okay, so here's the one thing about Teen Challenge. When you come to Teen Challenge, you come to family. This is nothing more than a home. There are no fences here. When people think of a rehab center, they're thinking of something like a reformatory prison and the like. Teen Challenge is not like that. Teen Challenge is like coming home. People come here because they want to come here. Others come here because their families have forced them to come here, of course, but eventually they realize they're in a good place and they want to be here.
Okay. Now, up next, I'm talking to George Banze, who has gone through this program here at Pure Nard Teen Challenge, and he is a success story. He was addicted to substance, but now he is as clean as ever. We're going to listen to his story so that he tells us what exactly went on and how you as a person out there can also be another Joe Chivanze. So listen to his story and we'll get back to 1360.
Yeah, so my name is Joe Chivanze, and I just want to explain how I came in the program, because it was too hard for me when I came in the program, because there were a lot of things to follow and I was failing to follow those things. But by God's grace, I've trying to adapt in the program, because there was a lot of things I can't try to abide by the the laws which they were stated here in Teen Challenge. But thank God that I began just to start submitting to authority, and also before I became in the program, I used to sell the drugs, and I used to know that although I'm selling drugs, it's like I'm killing people. And then I used to say, please, God, help me. And then that's when God helped me. I became in the program. When I realized that I really need help, because, I used to sell drugs and I used to have some money, and I realized that I really need help, because it's like I'm killing people while I'm selling the drugs. I used to be, just my spirit was grieved all the time. I can sell the drugs, so I have to sell those drugs if I'm drunk, because if I'm normal, I'm sober minded, sometimes you find a chap just come, he's just young, and then I used to sell them. But thank God very much for this program, Teen Challenge. I've transformed, just like the way I said. I went to Teen Challenge Swaziland. There I learned a lot of things, and I also have got a desire to have an orphanage there, and I also go I also go in on the street every Wednesdays. I go there just to encourage them and to give them hope, and I'm just praying, and I believe that one day God is going to open the door. I'm going to have an orphanage, and I believe in that, because I've learned from here how you can have faith in God. So what I can just try to encourage one another there, you guys were like struggling to the drugs, I think you can just come in the program and then come and see how the program being ran here.
All right, so I did tell you that I have Winnie Lungu, who is, very keen when it comes to being more on the natural part. Winnie, how are you? And thank you so much for coming into Women's 360.
Thank you for having me, and I am very fine.
How are you?
Blessed.
How's that little angel? I know you recently had a baby. How's that going?
Oh, she's fine. She's even started school.
Ah, okay.
In grade 1.
Okay. Firstly, your general take on alcohol and women. What's your feel on that?
Well, I find that trend is, it's becoming so too much. Mm-hmm. Yes, and it is not really nice, especially being a lady. You're supposed to be like a lady.
And someone would ask, what is being like a lady?
Well, we know that you're supposed to be in the kitchen. You have to be calm, timid, sophisticated, not, speaking out loud, fighting with bottles, gruff voice. That is not a lady.
Okay. Someone would say, come on, if I just take 2 glasses of wine or even one, would that hurt? How much is too much?
Well, with wine, that's a different story. Yes, because you
But
can
there's
take-
alcohol in wine.
Yes, there's a little, but you can use it for medicinal purposes.
Okay.
And like beer, let's say. Beer, on the contrary, too many calories, and the side effects are just immense. It just makes you grow pot bellies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
And most people would say lagers are what gives a lady the pot belly. Is that true? How true is that?
Well, alcohol per se, as I mentioned, a lot of calories. So indeed, you're piling up on weight. The body doesn't know what to do with those calories. So they just sit there. And of course, it puts a burden on your liver. It puts a burden on your kidneys. When you continue with that trend, later on, a lot of heart conditions will come in, as well as other adverse reactions to
Okay.
your body. Yes.
I know most people are trying to move away from the conventional way of, having to, let's say, if I want to reduce my alcohol intake or I want to stop alcohol, most people would go the herbal way. In the herbal realm,
Yeah.
how much alcohol is acceptable, especially for a lady?
Very minimal, as I said. Maybe if it is wine, just a little, maybe half a glass.
Okay.
That's it. Alcohol, no way. What is it going to do to you? It's not going to help you to live a healthy life. It's just going to make you feel worse. In fact, it can kill you. Yeah.
I can hear little voices say it makes you a little bit happier. But then, okay, what if you compare? We compare the two. Is there a difference? The amount of alcohol I will take, and maybe the amount of alcohol our camera person Gerard will take.
Yes.
He's male. Is there a variation? Does it matter?
It matters depending also on your size.
Okay.
Somebody small like me, if I take like maybe half a bottle of beer, I already start seeing things and start walking sideways. But somebody who is bigger framed than me can take a little more.
So I can take more than you.
I'm sure you can.
Why is that?
The size, your mass, the amount of cushioning available in your system, your organs. Yeah, that matters a lot.
Okay. You were telling me about, how it affects the liver and how it affects so many organs in your body. When I come to you, let's say I have a problem with alcohol, is there a natural way that I can start deterring from alcohol slowly, gradually? Because definitely someone can't just stop drinking like that, is it?
Yeah, because if they stop just like that, it will also have adverse effects on them. So it's a gradual process. Yes, and in the natural field, in natural medicine, we have different programs where we can help, whether it is counseling or machinery or remedies. Sometimes we have to work with all that, or a diet change, a lifestyle change. All those things help.
Okay. Let's say, for example, I have alcohol issues and I came to you. Run us through the steps. What steps would you run me through in terms of the natural way?
Okay, first, I would want you to see what that alcohol has done to you, so I would do an analysis. Yeah, you would be able to see each organ, what has happened because of that alcohol, and the amount of alcohol in your body, and what has happened to the other organs, how they're affected. Then from that, we have to detoxify the system, especially the liver. It's the one which takes a lot. Internally, the liver is the largest organ of elimination. Outside, it's the skin. So if your liver is burdened, then of course the rest of the organs are going to start shutting down. Yeah. So after we detoxify, now we look at the lifestyle you're having now, you're living now, and how we're supposed to change it. It's not like a big change, gradual, small pieces of information which you can use in your day-to-day life. Then after that, we're going to counsel you. How did you start drinking? And why do you want to stop? Why do you feel that it has to stop? And then from that, we start asking you, okay, how has it affected your life and other people's lives? When you can answer those questions, now we start taking step by step. It can take months. It's about how you feel. You don't need alcohol. So do away with it and then find an alternative, and those are great alternatives.
Okay. Thank you so much, Winnie, once again.
Thank you for having me, Judy.
All right. That is our message from Winifrida Lungu there. She's telling us that you can intoxicate yourself with something else other than alcohol. Go to a spa, do your nails, or be in great company, and you will obviously be happy when you're doing the stuff that you love. Right now, let's just go to Jobe in, Ellis Joy, to give us some tips on skincare.
Hello, my name is Jobe from Elise Joy Boutique Salon and Spa. Today we're going to talk about inner beauty skincare. Now, most of us know that our skin is the largest organ on our body, and it is one of the first things people see. It's out there for people to see. For your skin to be beautiful, you have to know how to cleanse it, to moisturize it, to protect it, and to correct it. So in terms of cleansing your skin, like I said before, you have to know whether you've got oily skin or oily skin, normal skin, combination skin. So if you've got, for example, dry skin, where after you just wash your face and you let it dry, then it feels very tight. Avoid, when you go to the shops, avoid bar soaps. Or if you have to look for a bar soap, look for something that has some oil, because your skin needs oil and moisture as well. Then look for things like, this is a facial wash. It's quite watery. So these are very good because they are not going to strip your face. I know that certain times it is expensive to have to buy a soap for the face and a soap for the rest of the body, but then the whole texture of your face and the rest of your body, for example, my knees or my legs, is quite different from the face. You need gentler things on your face. Then you can use, if you want for cleansing, another thing you should avoid, as much as we say you have to have maybe a towel or something, try to be gentle when you're rubbing your thing. In fact, you're not even supposed to be rubbing it, but after you wash your face, you just pat it dry so that you avoid pimples. You avoid wrinkles or stretching your skin. Then in terms of moisturizing, which is the second thing, every person has to moisturize their skin. I know some people say, well, but my skin is fine, it's oily. Even if you've got oily skin, you still do need to moisturize your face, your skin. Now you look for certain moisturizers, they're all different. Some moisturizers are very thick. For example, like these kind of moisturizers that don't even, it's quite hard and buttery. Now these are butter moisturizers or oil moisturizers. These are good for dry skin, but then you have to be aware that when you're putting them on, don't rub your skin too much. And if you've got like certain skin conditions like this, as I say, this is good for dry skin, but you still need to put a watery moisturizer. Now I have an example of a runny moisturizer. This is quite runny. This would work for anyone, especially if your skin is dry, because you do need moisture. The whole thing about the skin is that you need moisture first, then maybe the oil on top of it. Then when it comes to correcting your skin, these are where maybe you've got wrinkles or you've got pimples or you've got blemishes and pigmentation, then you want to correct that. Now, just a word on pigmentation. A lot of us tend to take skin bleaching or lightening. We tend to take it like it's a casual thing, but I'm not going to say you shouldn't do it, but the only thing I can advise is that before you embark on that road, just do your research, because a lot of products are not very healthy for you in the long run, because you might get clear skin, lighter skin, perfect skin, but just consider that at the end of the day, you might end up having cancer, or your skin will even be in a worse off situation than you were at the beginning. So if you want to use these, whatever products there are to change the color or texture of your skin, just do a lot of research on the side effects, on the benefits, and on the bad parts. Then if you are willing to live with the consequences, then go ahead. No one is, it's like you've researched the thing, so you know what you want. Then the fourth thing I would say, it's protecting. Now, a lot of us, especially with dark skin, we tend to say, well, why should I protect myself from, for example, the sun? But it is one of the things that the sun will burn you and you end up having pigmentation, because if on a very hot day, if you go out in the sun and you're wearing maybe a dress with a strap, at the end of the day, you find that you actually do have tan lines. I know they say black skin doesn't crack, but it will crack. And with a lot of heat damage, you will end up dealing with a lot of pigmentation and even wrinkles. Now, sunscreen, sun protection is very expensive, but it is one of those necessary things. So if you can manage to get some, just get some. And if you don't want to put on your whole body because it is a little bit expensive, you can just put on your face on the days that you're out in the sun. And then another piece of advice about the whole sun thing, try to avoid being in the sun when the sun is at its highest, maybe from 10:30 to around 14:30 or something. And then if you have to be in the sun, try to protect yourself with either big sunglasses or have hats or things that you can cover your skin so that it doesn't dry that much. Now, those are some of the basic things that you do for good skincare. So it's your habits, like eating habits, your lifestyle habits, sleeping, no smoking too much, no smoking, no drinking too much, you need your rest. So just to finish off, just know your skin, know what ingredients you're putting on your skin. You only have one skin, so take care of it. Know the consequences of the ingredients that you're putting on your skin. And beauty starts from the inside. Don't start putting weird things on your face. Just do what you can with what you've got. Thank you very much.